Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, JEONG SINAH, and today we're going to be doing a 2v2 battle here. I'm going to be the blue Confederate player, and my ally is going to be Pale Rider. He's going to be the green Confederate player. So let's go and get into it. We're going to be facing off against two pretty strong resistance players, so we got an exciting matchup here lined up, so let's go ahead and get into it. We can see that we're getting a scout onto the resistance side right now with some of the infantry. You can see I am HQ3 at this time, just trying to get some infrastructure down. As you can see, I'm trying to build away from the water. I do not plan to go into the water for this game. So we can see that yellow is going for a JCP build, potentially. I got a delta onto the land there. We're going to scout the red player's base. Let's see what red's up to. We see red is HQ3. We see a level 2 shipyard for alligators. And we can see that red's got some half-decent infrastructure. See a couple factories, sniper towers that did nice scouting. Meanwhile, I'm dropping a couple torpedo platforms just to help with my defense here. So I asked Pale Rider how his Thors are. They're not maxed, so I'm actually going to try and get some Thors out just for defense. Pale Rider doing a good job with the Vertex here, just getting some harassment onto the red player. Those sniper towers are going to go down. That's going to deny visual control for the resistance side. I am teching up to HQ4 now, dropping a few more factories and upgrading my infrastructure, so you can see I'm going for those Thors. Pale Rider is also HQ4 at this time, and we're just continuing to build ground armies. I tell Pale Rider to get a scout onto the resistance side. Yellow's HQ4 as we suspected, and we see red is still HQ3, but we might see some chameleon armies on the battlefield here soon, so we need to prepare for that. So we're just continuing to build our ground troops up. Vertex getting another scout onto the resistance side. We can see ground troops stationed at that entrance there for the resistance side. One of the scouts gets cleaned up for the resistance side. I tell Pale Rider to clean up a Dragonfly. Dragonfly does go down. So we can see I'm making a couple Vikings there. That's just to deal with any of the naval incursions that red attempts. Pale Rider is going to move in a ground army from the side there. So we have pretty good map control on the land at this point. I'm going to drop a couple barracks at the front there. We can see that scout gets cleaned up by a Pale Rider. I have 2 barracks at the side there, just to help with covering my base and to tank damage. We can see my Vikings are now moving in, trying to deal with those gators, but it's not going to work out. Thor is coming in for Pale Rider. Those Thors are going to clean up those ground troops really nicely. I am going to lose this naval engagement here, but I've dished out enough damage against red's gators that they are not going to be able to punch through my platforms. We see Grenadiers starting to move in. Pale Rider has a pretty solid ground army here. We can see the resistance side now trying to surround Pale Rider. Pale Rider is being ambushed by those Grenadiers, so I'm going to send some Thors in. And we're going to score some really nice bombing runs onto the resistance side, and we clean up some troops there. So it was a pretty good bombing run overall. Pale Rider, unfortunately, is heavily outnumbered. I'm actually going to move my ground troops in. I've mainly got hammer tanks, which will be decent against the Jaguars, but not so much against the Grenadiers. We're going to dish out some damage here. I've got a few shield generators in the mix as well, just to help the durability of my hammer tanks. So we're going to move in. I've got a red attack boost going. We can see we're just trying to fight it out with the resistance side. And I'm going to go ahead and retreat here. Because my army is predominantly hammer tanks, I don't really have anything to deal with the Grenadiers effectively quite yet. So we can see that I'm going to go ahead and retreat. Upgrading my barracks there. Thors coming in once again. Let's see where the Thors are headed. Looks like the Thors are headed for a factory, and we're going to heavily damage that factory. And the Thors are going to help with the defense here really nicely, just scoring some direct hits on the ground troops for the resistance army. So the resistance army is trying to punch through the front lines here. I've got those barracks though to tank damage. I'm trying to make some fire assaults as well to take care of the Grenadiers. Hammer tanks are starting to move back in again. I miscalculated here. I did not make enough ground troops, so I'm actually starting to run out of hammer tanks here. So I need to be careful. I've got a gold aviation servicing boost now going. and that is just to help me get my Thors back in the air as fast as possible so I can deal with these ground troops. So I'm trying to make more units at the same time as well. Here comes Thors from Pale Rider, and they score a really nice hit onto the ground army there. So I launched my Thors as well, and with our combination of Thors, we do a really nice job cleaning up most of the ground troops from the resistance side, and they are not going to be able to continue to push. I'm going to plant 2 more barracks once again. That's just going to help me with having something for the resistance side to attack first, just so I can stall them for bombing runs. So Thor is coming in once again. We got some more ground troops moving in from Pale Rider. Pale Rider's got the Zeus tanks and a fire assault, and I've got a hammer tank. So the resistance side is continuing to relentlessly try and press. So we got another gold servicing boost going. This is just to help those Thors refuel. And we want to make sure that we use our Thors effectively. Let's see how this pans out. Another bombing run from the Thors. Really nice direct hits onto those ground troops. And with the combination of those Thors, we pretty much level the entire assault force from the resistance side. So we can see there's a naval engagement unfolding here. 3 Gators to 2 Vikings are going to use the gold common defense boost. And with the common defense boost, I'm going to be able to break the Gators. And my Vikings just barely survive. I have 1 Viking left, and we're going to use that Viking for defense. So I'm going to replenish my ground troops. Here come my Thors now. We're going to score 2 factories down, and 3 factories down, and 2 barracks. So just like that, with 8 Thors, we turn the tide of battle so quickly. Red's production is pretty heavily crippled by those bombers. And we can see that Pale Rider scored a nice hit onto that large resource container. So we see there's a few ground troops from yellow, enough to maybe cause some harassment, but not enough to break the front lines for us. So now this time I'm going to bomb the HQ here. I'm going to use all my Thors to do it. Looks like we only needed 6 Thors to do it. So now Red is not able to make any more units. And we're just going to go ahead and try to keep the resistance side suppressed as much as possible. Here comes Pale Rider. Pale Rider's got his Thors going. Let's see where they're headed. They're headed straight for the headquarters for Yellow. And looks like Yellow is going to lose their headquarters. So no more unit production for now from the Yellow side. And we can see that the resistance side is really struggling to just put an army together. Thors are being launched once again. We take out the headquarters again. And we're going to take out an assault vehicle factory. Red is just struggling to put together a respectable army of any kind here. We see a major engagement between the resistance and Pale Rider. Pale Rider is just demolishing this ground army though from the yellow player. Yellow is forced to retreat. Meanwhile, at the other entrance, the resistance are now making another push. I have multiple torrents, tanks, and fire assaults though. And this is going to be really hard for the resistance side to break. Most likely they are making one final push here. We see a lot of Jaguar tanks and Grenadiers. They most likely know that if they don't break the front line now, they are going to lose the game. Here comes some Thors from Pale Rider. They're headed straight for some of the production. And we're actually going to take out the headquarters there. And with these few Thors here, we're going to level the assault force from the resistance side. And we can see that at this point, we're pretty much at the end of the game. We get a notification shortly after these bombing runs that the resistance side surrendered. Alright, hopefully you all enjoyed this game. It was a lot of fun to use Thors on this map. Good luck with your battles. We will see you in the next battle.